one night, whatever you charge, I shall give you. No, I have nothing in this world. That's why I am happy. The king got the point. He was a miser king. He was accumulating all the taxes from the subjects and giving nothing to anyone. So, he started giving away everything, distributed everything. In the end, he had nothing and he became happy. Now, nothing to worry about. I am happy. So, what is the moral from this story? The king's cure. The disease was not there. This was the disease. So from this, not only this much moral we get, but still deeper if we go. If you can give up everything, then you will be happy, you will have nothing. Then you will be happy. What do you learn from this? If you reject everything, give up everything, that means negate everything, that means renounce everything. That is called Mahatyaga, the greatest renunciation. Have nothing. Whatever you think it is I or mine, if you can give it up, then you are the happiest man under the sun. That is called Tyagat Santiranantaram. The moment you give up, you are at peace. This is the declaration of Gita, the essence of all the scriptures. Not only Hindu religion, all the scriptures of all the religions of all the worlds. If you give up, then you get peace. If you accumulate, you are worried. No peace is ever you can dream of. This is what we are discussing in this Sikhidhvaj Kahani story, and this is the only way to give up. So that which nobody knows, that can be achieved, come to point. That can be achieved if you give up whatever you know and whatever you have, whatever you know, give it up. Then the remnants is the cure. What remains, nobody knows, but it will remain. When you give up everything, whatever you have, whatever you know, whatever you are, give up everything. That is the only way. That is the only way. There is nanya pantha vidyate ayanaya. There is no other way out. This is the only highest direct path to achieve that, which is nobody knows. Nobody knows. When you reach the top of the mountain, do you get something? There is nothing. But you have to give up all the lower level existence, surpass it, bypass it, overcome it. Then when you reach the top, there is nothing, but you have achieved everything. That is the way We know it, we understand it, but we don't go to the depth of the meaning and try to understand. We understand everything superficially, from outer surface. Oh, water is very, it is not, I cannot take a dip in it. Something may happen. But when you enter in, it is calm and quiet. This is what we learn from this story. It is a long story, and it teaches us how to renounce everything, and then one attains the ultimate peace. Panchanavati Tam Sarga, the 95th chapter, we are going to discuss अविद्या की शांति का उपाय तथा आत्मज्ञान से चिर विश्रांति का वर्णन. The destruction of ignorance and the way to get self-knowledge and eternal rest. That we shall discuss from now onward in this chapter. पहले यह जो कहा गया था कि यह सारा प्रपंच निगत तृष्णा जल के सदृश भ्रांति रूप हो प्रतीत होता है, इस पर वह शंका होती है कि यह दृष्टांत देना बिल्कुल असंगत है, क्योंकि मृगत तृष्णा जल से न स्नान होता है या न तो उसका पान हो सकता है, किसी तरह उसके अर्थ क्रियाकारिता है ही नहीं, और इस प्रपंच में तो सब तरह की अर्थ क्रियाकारिता प्रसिद्ध है. यूँ राजा प्रश्न करते हैं. राजा शिखिध्वज ने कहा, having getting this point on the explanation of our Kumbha Muni, the teacher, the king puts this question. राजा शिखिध्वज ने कहा, हे ब्रह्मविद, ब्रह्मा से लेकर स्तंभ तक जो कुछ यह संसार प्रतिभासित होता है, वह यदि ब्रह्म रूप है तो वह अर्थ क्रिया समर्थ और दुख का कारण कैसे है? ब्रह्मात्मक वस्तु तो अर्थ क्रिया समर्थ और दुख हेतु दिखाई नहीं पड़ती. वेरी सीरियस क्वेश्चन. राजा पूछ रहा है कुंभ मुनि से, हे मुने, आप उदाहरण तो दिए, दुनिया नहीं है. दुनिया कैसे नहीं? जैसे मृग तृष्णा में जल नहीं है और उसके पीछे जो भागता है वह बिना पानी का प्यास से मर जाएगा. ये बात मैं मानता हूँ, ठीक है. परंतु ये जो दुनिया है, इसमें अर्थ क्रियाकारिता दिखाई देता है. अर्थ क्रियाकारिता मतलब जो हम कर्म करते हैं उसका फल हमको प्रत्यक्ष मिलता है. तो इसको हम मना कैसे कर देंगे कि नहीं है करिए. और इसको भ्रम रूप कैसे बोल देंगे? जो भ्रम है उसका कोई फल नहीं है, वो तो हम मान लेंगे, पर ये भ्रम होगा अगर अज्ञान है, भ्रम है, तो फिर इसमें अर्थ क्रियाकारिता कैसे दिखाई देता है? क्या मृग तृष्णा जल से कोई प्यास को मिटाया? मृग तृष्णा जल में प्यास मिटाने का कोई अर्थ साधित नहीं होता है, परंतु यहाँ तो हो रहा है। यहाँ हम सुख दुख का अनुभव करते हैं। सुख का अनुभव नहीं करते हैं, कोई बात नहीं, हम मान लेते हैं कोई सुख नहीं दुनिया में, पर दुख तो मानते हो ना। दुखालयम अशाश्वतम, इसको बोले हो ना, तुम ही तो बोले हो। ये दुनिया दुख से भरा हुआ है। दुख तो किसी कारण का कार्य होगा ना, तो कार्य कारण जब दिखाई दे रहा है, अर्थ क्रियाकारिता है ना, तो कैसे बोलते हो कि दुनिया नहीं? दुनिया नहीं तो दुख कहाँ से आया? ये बात है। दुनिया नहीं तो दुख कहाँ से आया? ये सिखी ध्वज का बड़ा गहरी सवाल है। द किंग इज आस्किंग, my dear great one, please explain me. I accept your example. There is no water in the mirage, and one who goes behind it will die out of thirst. I accept it. Because there is no water, one has to get nothing, and he has to die out of thirst. Okay? But here in this world, you say the world doesn't exist at all. It is just ignorance. But if it is ignorance, how do I see? Everybody says, I also feel, you also tell us. As a teacher, this world is full of miseries. Miseries are the effect of some cause. If you accept it is miserable, then you have to accept its cause. And cause and effect are there means it is something true. It cannot be false. Just as when you eat, you get the satisfaction of your hunger. Hunger is subsided now. So this satisfaction is the result of your eating food. Artha kriya karita means the meaningfulness of the action. That means you get a result out of it. That means where there is action, there is reaction. If you see the reaction, you have to accept the action. This is how the logic goes. If you see the tree, there is some seed behind it. Out of the seed only the tree can come out. You cannot say there is no reason for this tree. If you accept the effect, then you have to accept the cause. How can you say this world doesn't exist? You see, by the way, Sikhidhar the king asks such questions to Chudala. This is a story, but through the story we can understand every intelligent person will have such questions. So unless and until your questions are answered, you cannot go ahead. All the questions should be answered. And The questions are there till you have got doubt. Doubt is there where there is two. Where there is comparison, where there is relationship, then there will be doubts. How? If one is short, then you have to doubt how it has become short. Because there is some tall somewhere. When it is compared, then only it is decided to be shorter than the other. There is comparison, there is relationship, there is dependency. One depends upon the other to be greater or to be lower. If it is absolutely one, there is no doubt. No doubt, no question, no answer. If two are there, then there ought to be some doubts, some questions and answers. That is the work of the intellect. The mind has dualities. Everything is opposite to each other, compared with each other, related with each other, dependent with each other. This is how always there are doubts. Unless and until one reaches that absolute one, till then there will be doubts. As long as doubts are there is no peace of mind. A doubtful person gets nothing. That's how this world is miserable. This world is made up of pairs of opposites. Wherever there is positive, there is negative beside it. Wherever there is light, there is shadow. You cannot differentiate the shadow or darkness from the light. This is how this world is. So from this story we have to learn. You have to give up everything. And how to give up? Indifference is the best way. If you say, I don't want to see, the mind will try to see it. All the negatives have positives behind it. जहाँ मना करोगे, बच्चों को कहोगे, इसको छूना नहीं बच्चा, वो कहेगा क्यों नहीं छूंगा? Don't touch it. Why not? Let me see. When there is no, there is yes. This is the nature. This is called nature. You cannot forbid the children. Whatever you say not to do, they will do that. And the psychiatrists use this method for some people. Whatever they want to do, they will say, don't do it. So naturally you will start doing it. इसके ऊपर एक सुंदर कहानी है. Beautiful story is there on this. If you say no, don't do, the person will do it. This is the nature of the world. So don't say no. And don't say yes. If you say yes, some people will do that. So not to say no, nor yes. Keep quiet, be indifferent. Everything will subside by course of its time. Time is the great solver. Great politicians, they don't take decision, they're not there. They take time. So time will bring some solution. Changes will bring some solutions. Because situation changes, time changes, condition change. So something come out. In this way, the story goes like this. There was a couple, husband and wife. The wife was so stubborn. Whatever the husband used to say, do this, she will say, no. Why to do this? I want. The poor fellow, poor husband was tortured so much. He could not bear the behavior of the wife. He was once finding no way out. He was sitting somewhere under a tree and he was weeping practically. What to do with this wife? Whatever I say, she says no. Are, I am hungry, give me some food, I shall go to the work. No, not yet. I shall give you afterwards. Now the food is not ready. Poor fellow has to wait. Today I don't eat. I am not feeling well. No, you have to eat, or else you will not get sleep. You have to. Just the opposite, she says, and forces him to do it. Poor husband was so much tortured, he was weeping. His close friend was passing by and saw him weeping. My dear, what has happened to you today? Why are you so sad? Come on, tell me. Can I help you? Arey, my friend, I am nowhere in this world. Why did I marry? I don't know. Every moment my wife goes against me and I cannot live happily a moment with her. What to do? Now I am thinking to go to do suicide. I will jump to the river. There is no way out. The friend says, don't worry. I shall give you a way. Will you follow what I say? Will you do it? Arey, you are my close friend. If you give some solutions, why should I not? Come on, tell me what shall I do? He taught him a lesson. So the tortured friend waited for the rainy season to come patiently, and the monsoon broke out and heavy rains, just like our rains for 2-3 days, and the river nearby was flooding, overflowing, dangerous. Generally the village people used to collect water, drinking water from the river, but those days at flood time, they have to depend on some water from the well or somewhere, somehow to manage. So, according to plan of the both friends, the husband says, "My dear darling, today the river is overflowing. So please, I tell you, I pray you, don't go to fetch water from the river." So she says, "Why not? I shall go. River water is very, because it is running water, it is pure. The well water is impure, because it is stagnant. I shall go for river water only. We shall bring it and keep it for some time, then it will settle down. Why not? I shall go." She started taking the pot and going to the river. So the husband goes behind her, says, "My darling, please obey me. This is the last request. If you fetch water from the river, take water from the side. Don't enter into the river. It is dangerous. You will be swept away." "No, why should I not go enter into it? I know it is our own known river. I shall enter inside, and side water is dirty. I shall bring water from the midst of the river." Then the husband shouts. She enters and goes a little to the depth. So he shouts, "My darling, hear me, hear me. If you are entering into deep water, don't go to neck deep water. Don't go." "Why not? I know swimming. I shall manage. I shall go to the midst of the river, and then I shall fetch water. There will be very pure water." She goes up to the neck depth. Then the husband shouts, "My darling, obey me, don't go to nose deep. You will be washed away." "Why not? I shall go." She goes there and gets away. The problem is over. The problem is over forever. That was his friend's plan. Don't do anything. Apply the same weapon on the So this is how the world, whatever you say not to do, the people will start doing it. Your mind also is like that. So, don't say no, don't say yes. Indifference is the best way, neutral, to be neutral, not to utter a single word. This is the way out, and if you try to renounce, then that renunciation will have the ego of renunciation. That is very hard to renounce. I have renounced everything, that I will never to go That is the most terrific thing. So, the king puts this question, O great one, when you say the world is not there, I cannot accept it because it has got some effect, that is the sorrows and miseries of the world. This is the effect. This effect cannot be possible without any cause. So this does exist. कुंभ उवाच सत्य संकल्प भावना से दृढ़ किया गया मिथ्याभूत अर्थ और अर्थ क्रिया समर्थ और दुख का उत्पादक होता है, यह बात देव या असुरों की माया से निर्मित शस्त्र अस्त्र हाथी घोड़ा सेना आदि में जब प्रसिद्धि है, तब जगदीश्वर की माया से बनाए गए प्रपंच के लिए तो कहना ही क्या, इस आशय से कहते हैं। कुंभ मुनि ने कहा, भद्र, यह जो सृष्टि रूपी जगत भ्रांति है, उसमें प्राणियों के प्राक्तन कर्मों की उपभोगार्थता होने से आपकी कथित प्रणाली के अनुसार अर्थ क्रिया सामर्थ्य और दुख आदि की हेतुता है, क्योंकि सत्य संकल्प परमात्मा की भावना ही तत् अर्थ क्रिया आदि रूप से तथाकथित सृष्टि में परिणत हुई है। इसमें दृष्टांत है जल। जैसे जल में रुक्षता या पीठ बनने को योग्यता है ही नहीं, परंतु शीत के कारण पत्थर रूप बर्फ रूप बने हुए जल में दीर्घ काल के बाद स्फटिक आदि रूप में परिणाम हो जाने पर रुक्षता पीठ आदि बन जाने की अर्थ क्रिया प्रसिद्ध है। बस यही प्रकार इस ब्रह्मात्मक सृष्टि के विषय में भी जानना चाहिए। कुंभ मुनि बड़ा चतुराई के साथ बहुत गहराई से इसको उत्तर देते हैं। इसको कभी नहीं भूलना चाहिए। ये साधारण हम कहीं ऐसा इतनी गहराई में जा करके इतने तर्क करके समझाना ये हमको मिलता नहीं सब जगह पर। ये पूछ रहा है कि जब संसार नहीं है करके आप बोल रहे हो, नाम रूप नहीं है, तो ये नाम रूप दुख कैसे देता है? दुनिया दुख कैसा देता है? अगर दुख दे रहा है तो इसका कारण तो ये संसार है ना। संसार दुखदाई करके आप ही बोलते, सब बोलते हैं, सब अनुभव करते हैं, दुख को भोग करते हैं सब। और आप कैसा कह दोगे दुनिया नहीं है? कितने बारीकी तर्क है। तो कुंभ मुनि उतने ही तीक्ष्ण बुद्धि के द्वारा उसको उत्तर दे रही है। कह रहा है, कुंभ मुनि राजा, बात तो सही कह रहे हो तुम। ये संसार दुखदाई है। संसार है तभी तो दुखदाई होगा, पहले मान लिया। लेकिन संसार का कोई तो कारण होगा। कारण का कारण हम देख रहे थे कल, संसार का तो कोई कारण होगा ना जो दुख दे रहा है। संसार का सृष्टिकर्ता कौन है? कोई होगा, उसको हम सृष्टिकर्ता कहते हैं। सृष्टिकर्ता ने जैसे पहले सोचा और जैसे कल्पना किया, वैसा ही ये संसार बना। क्यों? इसके अंदर क्या रहस्य है कि वो जैसे सोचेगा ऐसा बनेगा? ये तो तुम्हारे सृष्टि के अंदर यही देखा गया। कोई अगर सोचा मैं इंजीनियर बनूं तभी तो इंजीनियर बनेगा, कोई सोचा मैं डॉक्टर बनूं और ये इंजीनियर बन जाएगा क्या? ऐसा तो कहीं नहीं देखा गया। कोई सोचता है मैं फसल बोने के लिए खेती में जा रहा हूँ बीज ले करके, क्या उसके वहाँ फाइल सब मिल जाएगा ऑफिस का खेती में? ऐसा तो देखा नहीं गया। जो जैसे सोचा ऐसा किया, उसका परिणाम मिला, यही देखा गया ना। ये व्यवहारिक दुनिया में यही देखा गया। जो जैसे सोचा वैसा किया और उसका करने का परिणाम मिला। तो इस संसार को सोचने वाला, बनाने वाला तो कोई तो है ना कारण। तो उसका इसका कारण वही ब्रह्मा है, क्रिएटर। द एब्सोल्यूट creator of this world is the cause for this world. Then only this world gives you the effect, the result, that is miseries. So, how did that creator create all these creatures? Just as he thought, so it became. This is the formula we have taken from this relative world. One who thinks, he becomes that. As he thinks, he becomes so. As you think, so you become. This saying goes like this. If some person thinks of becoming a doctor, he will never become an engineer. If one goes to military, he will learn how to fire, how to handle the weapons, but he will not know how to cook the food, because he has not thought over it. Whatever one thinks, accordingly he does, and the result he gets. So, the Creator has thought in a particular way, and this world has become accordingly that, whatever the Creator thought. All these are, that's how it is called, it is manifestation. Manifestation of what? Of the ideas or the thoughts of the primordial being, the first being. As he thought, so it appeared. Now, another example from this example. Let us take the water. Water has the property, the quality, it will never become hard. It is soft, it cannot become hard. And its nature is instability and liquidity and coolness. All these are the nature of the water. Where from it is inherited? How? Where from it came? Because the creator, the first thinker, he thought the water to be like this, then only it became like this. He thought the mountain should be stable, so the mountains are stable. They don't fly. He thought the tree should grow up, so it grows up, not downward. As he thought in the very beginning, just as you think, whatever you think that you become, so also whatever the Creator thought, the first being, that is called Creator. First being. Whatever he thought, everything occurred like that, happened to be like that, and within that we are called the relative beings. Whatever he thought, that we find here. So now see the other aspect of everything. The water has the aspect, that quality, it is liquid, it cannot be stone-like, hard and heavy, stable. It is always liquid, it is flowing, and it will flow downward only, not upward. In this way it is thought over by the first thinker, the Creator. Now on this, of course, you can have question, because you are modern scientists. It is not that the Creator thought the water should move downward. It is the gravitational force of the earth. It draws it downward. Where from your Creator came? So, there also the same rule is applicable. He thought that the gravitational force will drag it towards the center. That's why it is so. He didn't think it should repel outward. It should not push out. It should drag in, pull in. That's how this force, gravitational force, works like that. It is not to be altered. As long as the creation will be there, all these rules are applicable till then. It will work like that. Because you thought your name is so and so, so you are named like this, and everybody accepted it. Then your name has become this. And you accepted, he is my father. Of course somebody told, let him be anybody, but you have accepted it. He is my father, he is my mother. Then only they are your father and mother. If you don't accept, then they are not so for you. See this world still more in detail. The same fan which is so pleasant now for us, it is so torturing at winter midnight. We cannot accept it. Whatever you accept, that becomes good or bad for you. The same thing becomes good or bad when the it changes when the situation changes, time changes, condition change, then the same good thing becomes bad, bad becomes good. There is nothing good or bad in this world, nothing attractive or not. As you take it, so it appears to you that is not the final for everyone. Because you think your daughter is a daughter, it is not so for everyone in this world. She is a mother for her child. She is not daughter for her child. You think she is your daughter. That's why she is daughter for you only, not for everyone. So, it is you, as you take the objects according to time, space, conditions, and your liking and dislikings, your acceptance or rejecting, all these are calculated and then some result is final. Finalized. Nothing is there in this world as good or bad or acceptable or rejectable. Nothing is there. It depends upon your acceptance or your thoughts. As you see it, as you take it, so it becomes for you only, not for everyone. So everything is relative, everything is changeable, everything is compared with so many other objects around it. The ice is cold for you cannot sit over the ice. But what about the क्या वो उनको क्या कहता है dolphins who live under the ice? What about these polar bears and fishes? They live under the ice. You make your walls, what is that? Non-conductor, so that you can live in the room so nicely. What about the houses of the Eskimos? They make houses out of bricks made up of ice. What about the penguins? They cannot live in equatorial region. So, it differs. Everything is different from each other and everything is comparatively understood and relatively understood. This is how this world is called a relative world, and our life is only a relative life. So now, our Chudala, the Kumbha Muni, explains to the king, my dear king, try to understand. This world is thought over like this. It is a thought process which has been manifested or materialized. That means perceivable. It has become perceivable for you. It is not so for others. What do you think? Are there no beings in the moon? You cannot say so, because you cannot see. Your eyes are defective. You don't see any beings on the moon. But there are beings. That is what I was telling in the morning. There is some planet, some star, somewhere, whose ray of light has not yet reached the earth plane. Will you accept it to be there or not? You have not seen it. Nobody has seen it on the earth. Will you accept it or not? It is not there for you, but you are bound to accept it. So also, there is something which is not known to anyone here on the earth, but you have to accept. Have you gone beyond the horizon of our universe? Have you seen other universes? Don't you believe on it? Because you don't see, can you say there is nothing? Your eyes are so limited. Your mind is so limited. The universal mind and vision is something thousands and thousand times sharper and deeper and all-rounder than your vision. You cannot claim whatever I see, whatever I know, that is truth. You cannot claim like that. Because you are so limited. Your mind is so limited. Now coming to our point. Because the Creator has thought in this way, so the world is ever changing. The nature of the nature is ever changing, and there are certain rules which are never changing, non-changing in ever changing. The rules never change. The rule is to change. That changing phenomena never changes. It has to go on changing. That is the first thought of the Creator. So the world seems to be miserable for you. It is not so for everyone. The foolish people who only say the world is miserable, but the wise people say it is a place of heaven, it is enjoyable. Yatra yatra manojati tatra tatra paramritam. Wherever the mind goes, there is only nectar and bliss only. There is no trace of any miseries I see. There are such people also who declare like this. I am ever merged in the absolute bliss. I cannot see where is misery is. This world is full of bliss and peace. Because you suffer, so you say this is full of miseries. You foolish fellow. So, now what you claim that artha kriya karita, there is cause and effect seen in this world, so it is true. That is not so. Because all these what you see, you are under the clutches of the universal thoughts process. So, you are not beyond that. So, don't think it is true. And moreover, of course, Kumbha will say in the end, all the scriptures, all the great seers, all the investigators, whatever they have seen and given us, they say, Yatha Purvam Akalpayat. Just as before, the primordial being, the first being, he thought just as before. How do you start your day? Just as before. You start the day just as before. You stand on the past and hope for the future. So, just as before, he thought, this world I shall create in this way. I thought of my beautiful Swastika ashram in that way because I am habituated to create something, some houses from my childhood. I have made so many houses and demolished it myself. I used to make small huts in the little forest around our house, only one house, and we had plenty of bamboos, and I used to make a small hut for my reading purpose. I will sit there and aloof from the household affairs, I will go there for study. And after 15, 20 days again, that is destroyed, another new one. So, entering into new house, we shall have beautiful feast. That is also there. So I used to create new houses every now and then. That is my habit. So when I was enjoying my solitude somewhere in wandering life, somewhere I rested for 1 month, and there I started building castles in the air. Just as before, everywhere. The future is dependent on the past. And our lives, our cycle of birth and death is dependent on our past lives because all those impressions are carried forth. And they give rise to new thoughts. And as you think, so you see, so you become. This is how the saying goes. So now, all these processes are only imaginations, nothing else. There is no solid truth. And now, from other angle, see, this water, because of change, when it changes according to the situation, time and conditions, it becomes ice. Ice becomes hard and so tough. After a long time, it becomes crystal or diamond. And same water becomes diamond by the continuous change. That is what he tries to explain. That also is according to the thought of the Creator. कुम ने कहा, भद्र यह जो सृष्टि रूपी जगत भ्रांति है, उसमें प्राणियों के प्राक्तन कर्मों की उपभोगार्थता होने से आपकी कथित प्रणाली के अनुसार अर्थ, क्रिया, सामर्थ्य और दुख आदि की हेतुता है। कुंभमणि सेज, really you think this world is full of cause and effect? It is seen that depends upon your actions done before. All this creation, it is ruled by karma theory, action and reaction theory. That's how you get miseries in this world. It is not because it is real, but because of your actions done by you. क्योंकि सत्य संकल्प परमात्मा की भावना ही तत् अर्थ क्रिया आदि रूप से तथाकथित सृष्टि में परिणत हुई है। इसमें दृष्टांत है जल। All this world changes or it goes in a particular law with a law and order that is called nature's law, which is never changing. These laws are thought over by the Absolute in this way, which cannot be changed, because He is the Almighty, and whatever He thinks, that should manifest. And the bright example is water. जैसे जल में रुक्षता या पीठ बनने का योग्यता है ही नहीं। पीठ मतलब एक स्टेज बनना नहीं है, परंतु शीत के कारण पत्थर रूप बने हुए जल में दीर्घकाल के बाद स्फटिक आदि रूप में परिणाम हो जाने पर रुक्षता पीठ आदि बन जाने की अर्थ क्रिया प्रसिद्ध है। We cannot hold the water in our clutches, in our hands. Water will not be held by hands. But it can be held. That means the cause and effect. Water has no quality to be held in hand, but it gets it when some changes are taken place. It becomes cold, and it becomes ice, and in the course of time it becomes crystal, and then you can hold in the hand. The same thing which was not seen in water, it is seen artha kriya karita. The cause and effect, when you hold it, it should be held. That is called the cause and effect. So that is seen after a continuous change. So in this way, the Absolute has thought something, and when it goes on changing, that changing process also is thought over by the Absolute, the primordial being, the Creator. It should change in this way, so it changes and it grossifies and it appears with names and forms. And this is how it gives you the cause and effect proof. You get miseries out of it, just as you get holding capacity out of water. Water when it changes, becomes hard, then only you can hold it. This way, all these are nothing but the effect of changes, continuous changes, and that changes is the law of nature, which is nature of the Absolute. It should be like this. Then only it has become like this. So what do you say? If we say the Absolute is the cause, then can you escape? Now we shall come to it. He has given this. बस यही प्रकार इस ब्रह्मात्मक सृष्टि के विषय में भी जानना चाहिए. This is the method to adopt on this illusory world. This world is not there, but it appears to be, and you see the cause and effect. Everything you see in it, this is how you see, which is not there. यही कारण है कि ज्ञानाभ्यास के परिपाक क्रम से मूला ज्ञान का शैथिल्य हो जाने पर जगत की क्रमशः सूक्ष्मता हो जाने से अज्ञान के साथ साथ जगत का भी नाश हो जाता है. दिस वी शैल सी टुमारो. वो कहते हैं जैसे जल को तुम पकड़ सकते हो, वैसे ही इस दुनिया को भी तुम अज्ञान के कारण देख रहे हो, और अभ्यास के कारण ये दुनिया भी अदृश्य हो जाएगा. इसको तो मानो. जैसे तुम सोचोगे ऐसे ही होगा. तो इसको क्या हम बोल सकते हैं? ब्रेन वॉशिंग. He says, just as the impossibility becomes possible, the water you can hold in your hand when it solidifies in the course of time and changes, so also this so-called your visible world disappears when you slowly go on thinking over the truth. This disappears. It disappears just as the mist, the fog disappears when the sun becomes hotter and hotter. At midday, there will not be any fog. You cannot see any fog. It is possible in the morning or in the evening when the sun is not so bright. Similarly, when there is the knowledge of the reality, this unreality vanishes slowly, just as at the daybreak the night vanishes, it disappears, darkness disappears, not to be found, just as at the lightning the whole dark forest becomes visible to you. Everything you can see because of the light. So also, when you have the knowledge of the reality, then this unreal, changing phenomena will disappear, which you call world, because it is ever changing. Nothing can be taken as truth. This is possible. This will disappear. Just as the darkness disappears at daybreak, and just as the mist disappears at midday, just as the clouds disappear in autumn sky, just as the stars disappear after the morning. Similarly, this world also will disappear when you are established on truth. Tomorrow we shall see further कारण और कार्य, इसका परिपाक का क्रम, मूल अज्ञान का शिथिलता और क्रमशः जगत का स्थूलता फिर सूक्ष्मता में परिणत हो जाता है. दिस वर्ल्ड is nothing but the solidification of the subtle thoughts. So, if you know the source of everything, the original source, then this grossness also will disappear in the subtleness. Then you will understand all this world is nothing but only thoughts which have got no existence, only imaginations. Those imaginations have been solidified and you see it as reality. But you see it without seeing. Without seeing means without analytical vision. You see it haphazardly, so it appears like that. See this tree, is it one or many? You say there is one tree. Is it one? If you analyze it, there is no one tree visible in the tree. If you see it, it remains no tree. It becomes only branches, sub-branches, foliage, leaves, all these. No tree you can touch in the tree. It is some imagination solidified as one tree. Just as you cannot touch the body in the body. Wherever you touch, it is not the body. How can you say this is body? Is this the body? Is this the body? Is this the body? It is forehead. It is one head, it is forehead, it is 10 head. There is no body. Is this the body? No. Is this the body? No, it is thigh. It is skin. It is not the body. How can you claim? There is no body in the body. Only some thoughts solidified as body. We have accepted as body. Where is the body? Similarly, when you go on thinking seriously, analytically, logically, and by dissection, display, then you see nothing in this body. And just as the speed is not there of the car, we see the speed of the car, Rath Parampara, the traditional car formula. We see the speed in the car, But analytically we see not a single portion of the car body, nothing is moving. Without movement, how can you see the speed? It is only assumption. It is comparative assumption. When you compare one with the other, then you see something in the one which is not in the other. The whole world is comparative, relative. So whatever you think, whatever you see, that is not reliable, that is not the truth. It changes. So don't think this world is real and it has got cause and effect. The moment you see the effect as effect, it has been changed into a cause for another effect. How can you see it? Everything changes, which never changes. The changing never changes. So tomorrow we shall see further. Beautiful argument and you see logic, but very sharp. One should go on contemplating over it. Then only this is called renunciation, this is called indifference, this is called rejection. This is how the Vedas says, by negative doctrine, neti neti, not this, not this, not this. In the end, whatever remains, which you cannot say anything about it, that remains as the truth, which is never seen, never known, never said by anyone, because it is beyond everything. Beyond the mind and thoughts and your speech, beyond perception. So that is the reminence. Reminence is the truth. That you cannot deny. When the denial is denied, the reminence remains. That is ever revelation of the revealed truth. That is the most secret, which is ever revealed to everyone. This is what we were discussing in our Gita class. Rajavidya, the kingly secret, the royal secret, the highest secret, which is open to one and all. But we don't accept it. Seeing it, we don't see. Knowing it, we don't want to know it. We think of it, but we don't think. This is how we are nowhere. How can you understand the truth? Unless you stand still, you cannot read what is written in the milestone. You are running so fast by your car. How can you know what is written in the side signboard? You have to stay there, stand still. Then only you can know what is written there. That is the only way to be stable. Hari Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasisthate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. सद्गुरु भगवान की जय, सच्चिदानंद भगवान की जय, शब्द ब्रह्म की जय, सरस्वती महारानी की जय, जोग वशिष्ठ जी भगवान की जय। हरे